Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and today I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Libra. If Libra is your solar, lunar, ascendant/rising sign, then this is a message for you. Okay, let's get started. Okay, knock, knock, knock. Let's see what these tea leaves have to say today. All right. So our card is the Hanged Man. Yay, it's time to give something up. That's usually what it means for me. Whenever I pull the Hanged Man, I'm like, oh, yep, time to give something up. Okay, so Libra. We have quite a scattering here. Okay. Feeling some real kind of matriarch energy. And it feels like I want to start right here. So we have the most sacred cow, right? This is, in my mind, would be related to so related to, and I'm sorry, I was looking at this over here. So related to, I'm not calling anybody's mother, grandmother, auntie, anybody, the cow. Okay, but the cow, the goddess Hathor. And there are the depictions of Artemis with all of the kind of mammaries, udders, with water or milk, the sacred milk. We have this butterfly ahead. So I feel like I almost wonder if this is more of a grandmother. Okay, this seems like somebody who has maybe transitioned already. And I see this because it's in the emotional, but it's going into this metaphysical zone, the tip of the wing. This is where I would expect to see messaging coming from the other place, the other side. And so I feel like this was maybe your grandmother raised you. Maybe this is your mother as well. I don't know. But it feels like, it almost feels like you chose to do something that they warned you against. I almost wonder if you moved somewhere or went into a career path. Maybe you married somebody they didn't like or told you, warned you against the person. But I feel like, you've done well. And I see we have the person here. And I see that there's this sense of you've done well. You work hard at everything you do, in your relationships, in your career. You've built maybe a family. You've built a life for yourself that you are proud of. But there is this thing inside of you, this seed that has been planted that you've always kind of felt some remorse. Almost like you let this person down in some way. And I feel like, you know, they're here. They're watching over you. And we have the eye here. I see the birds. You feel them in spirit often. They're around you. They hold you tight. They love you. And are very proud of you. And I really get this impression that they say something like, I was wrong, right? They didn't give you good advice. And they're happy that you chose your own way. And I think this is why you've done so well, because you did what felt right for you. And you have a deep sense of knowing. You are very psychic. You are very intuitive. It maybe was something that it made sense to nobody, right? But you knew this was going to work. Against all odds, you knew. It was not out of vanity or anything like that. You've done this, you've made this life because it felt like you were making the most honorable decisions, that you were choosing for your family to uplift yourself and your family in connection. And I just feel like there's such a love around you. Okay, so I think that this has been a path of, carrying some stuff with you. So, just this little thing. It's amazing what we remember from when we were young, right? We can grow up around people who are almost always positive, dote over us, try to do everything they can to help us. But then when there are just those moments where the words are so cutting, the emotion sets in right deep, it stays with you. And it is just that way. I don't know why it's that way, but it is. And I feel like there's a sense of remorse from this family member. But they're very proud of you. And they know that you have always done the right thing, right? Lived your life for the greater good. And that's a beautiful thing. Okay. We have an M. So I think that we have an important M person, even though this is kind of a smaller. I feel like this is in relation to what we were just talking about. Maybe an M name, okay? And then here we have a mountain. We have a person kind of climbing the side of the mountain, and we have a moon, okay? So I feel like this really is this messaging coming through, this energy is really on the cusp of a new beginning in some way, a new project, a new chapter in your life, a rite of passage, something. And I think that where we have this Hanged Man is really letting go, sacrificing, cutting away some of these old pains, looking at them, and accepting it for what it is. And, even if you have, doing the role play, playing out a conversation with somebody who has passed away, active imagination, going through kind of a scenario in your mind's eye, okay? Something like this. Maybe if you have a therapist talking about it, a counselor, group therapy, somebody that you trust, whatever it is. I think that this is something that you know, really has stayed with you, worrying about these old decisions that you've made, even though your life has gone in a really positive direction, and you've done well. You still kind of lament not just listening, right? Even if it would have led you the wrong way. But, you know, sometimes people just give us the wrong advice. They are operating off of, you know, an emotional place. And, you know, they don't have all the information. And so, you know, it's important that we can let go of some of those constraints, those emotional baggages that we tie to ourselves and carry along with us, because it will open up some room for you. Okay. All right, and let's see. So we have the mountain, we have the moon. Okay. And so something new. What is going on that is new? It feels exciting. And I think that you're just really in the process of getting things lined up so it feels right for you. Like everything, you just have such a good instinct for when it's ready to really begin. And I see here we have an H, and then we have, it looks like the entrance to some kind of temple, spiritual place. This is right in the middle. So I think it's important to also maybe look to prayer or divine guidance, maybe getting into a place of meditation, implementing that into your routine if you don't already. And just kind of looking for some kind of sign symbols, synchronicities, you know, vision, whatever, something to be offered to you for some more clarity. Maybe you are a divine or scry, you know, use tarot cards, whatever it is. This is also another place that you can also look. Okay. And I suggest that you do this for yourself as in combination with, if you watch videos like mine or other people's. Shout out to my husband. You can always go over to his tarot channel and watch his readings. He's amazing. Dove and Serpent Tarot, and Paul is my husband. But I think it's important for us all to also, you know, partake in, not just, it doesn't have to be divination, but like I said, meditation, prayer, whatever, because I think that we need to actively be a part of finding our answers. Now, people who do readings and are psychic or mediums or whatever are a part of that, okay? And that can be a very useful tool. But I think the work also has to come from you as well, okay? Because, you know, only you can have the really, truly clarifying aspects. And only you can really understand, right? Because it's your situation. Okay, so I'm seeing that it looks like at some point there maybe was some kind of maybe depression, a mental health crisis of some kind. I think that this is in the past, but this is another part that comes up that you worry about. And I see that repeated in here, actually. And I don't know if this is you or if this is somebody around you, but these are symbols of surviving. So, you know, I think that maybe this is part of your story, being in recovery from you know, self-harm or, you know, beyond that, okay? And I don't want to talk about this too deeply just because I am not a professional, not a counselor, I'm not a therapist, but I have my own history of these things, and so I can have, you know, I can be very empathetic about it. And I am also in recovery, not just not just substance abuse recovery, but I am also in recovery from self-harm and I don't know what we call that on YouTube. I don't know what we're an attempt, I will say, very serious one. And so you know, if you have ever been into these places, into that valley, and come out of it, or you are working your way out of it, I applaud you. I mean, you are a warrior. Please use your support system. Please, and I say this not just to people who have a background in, you know, mental health issues, addiction or whatever. This is how I found out about it in recovery. But it's something called a crisis plan. You can look for a template on whatever search engine you use. Having the phone numbers, having a written out plan of how you're going to contact, who you're going to contact, where you will go that is a safe place if you are feeling like you need the support. You need to be around somebody, be around people. You know, we all need support systems, and a crisis plan is, everybody should have one in case something comes up. You know, it could be an accident, it could be some huge life event comes out of nowhere, you know, and it could be that there's something, you know, you have mental health crisis, an acute episode, whatever it is. We should all have these plans kind of tucked, just like we would with a, you know, a life directive or anything else like that. You know, I think that that's good homework. If you, you know, are so inclined, go and look up a template or, you know, something online to see how to do that. But also, you know, I think because this is coming up, good time to just kind of check in with yourself. Check in if you have a therapist, counselor, you know, continue doing that work. Make sure you're checking in with your support people, whoever that is, your loved ones, maybe people that you know in recovery of some kind or whatever. You know, I've even talked about on here, and I am not related, or, you know, I have nothing really to do with Reddit besides that I use it. And I like to bring Reddit up because it's one of the more anonymous places, as long as you're mindful about what you post and do not put your information on there. Use the screen name that's unrelated to any of your other screen names. And, you know, I don't even comment on a lot of the subreddits or whatever. But I think that if you need a place to go and read, or, you know, or yeah, interact with people who are going through some of the same things that you are, it is a good place to go and find that support. Okay, because there's like so many different kinds of subreddits and so many topics, so many kind of super specific circumstance type of things. It might be a small community, it might be a large community, you know, just kind of search around and see, you know, where, and, you know, it can feel like we have nobody in our lives. We don't have any, you know, anybody we trust with our feelings, or everybody's so busy, we don't want to bother them. I feel that way a lot. I don't want to bother people with my problems. Part of why I talk about some of this stuff on here, you know, but also because I'm in recovery and I talk at meetings and things. So I'm okay with just You know, I'm kind of that oversharing person a little bit too. You know, you meet me a few times and then I'm going to talk about just maybe some of the like most random, you know, personal things and stuff. And, you know, that's just the way it is, I guess. But, you know, sometimes it feels like we don't have anybody to check in with. And I want to say, you are always welcome to either email me and the email is in the description. It's just the ULA, I forget what it is, ULA, I don't remember. It's a Gmail. It's in my description. But anyways, it's on there. It's the same one as for booking for readings. You can always email me, but also you can comment on here. Okay, and I read all the comments, and especially if it's something that seems like you need somebody to talk to, or you know you're going through some things, I will always comment back. You know, it might take me a day or two, but I promise that I will. And so you at least know that for sure you have somebody here, you have a community here. Okay, don't dox yourself though, please. Don't give any personal information, but you know, like names, birthdays, locations, that kind of thing. Don't do that. But you know, sometimes going on the internet and, you know, the older generations, you know, shout out to you. I know there are older people on here, but you know, some people, they just think like, oh, the internet is like a bunch of strangers. They're not your friends. They don't care about you. Well, I'll tell you what. I have found in some communities online, even ones where everybody is anonymous, there is more care there than I have ever received in groups of people in the real world. Okay? And that kind of kinship, service to one another, care, checking in with each other, that kind of thing, has made me a better person and has helped me be more like that in my day-to-day real life with other people in my community, or, you know, within my family and all of that. So, you know, I know that there's a lot of kind of pessimism about connecting with others online. But, you know, as long as you are being safe, okay, don't give people money. That's the big one. Don't give out money to people. Don't give out personal details and things. But, you know, you can find people that do really care, and they're there and they want to listen and help. Okay. But just be discerning. Of course, you have to. We have to be vigilant everywhere, you know, but must be careful. And I will just say, I met my husband on the internet, so I know it's not a terrible place. All right, so we have a little arrow right here. We have a person kind of sitting, and I feel like, you know, ultimately there's a lot of happiness and love going on in your life. And yeah, I think sometimes you stumbled a little bit. We all do. We're human. But I feel like you are just sailing, man. Like you are going to hit that bullseye. You have, you're very clever, sharp sense of self, of, like I said, in touch with your intuition, knowing what is right for you. You also have a good sense of making maybe monetary, business, domestic decisions. So you are probably fairly successful. And, you know, I think that part of it is just letting go of some of those old things, those feelings, those things that people said to you that were not helpful. Because even our favorite people, even the people who raised us, or, you know, we're our caretakers, our role models, sometimes they don't get it right. Okay. And, you know, we have to be so careful, but, you know, even being careful, sometimes we plant just negative ideas in each other. Or, you know, we damage other people's, their sense of self, or, you know, the things that they love and are passionate about. You know, this is a big thing that my husband and I have always kind of talked a lot about and agreed on, is that with our daughter, we don't want to talk badly about any of her interests or her passions, even if we think it's like really annoying stuff, things that we are not into. But we don't want to, because, you know, growing up around people who made us feel bad about things that we were interested in, you know, felt really alienated, or like we were weird or other, you know, kind of othered. You know, although that just for me made me even more of an individual, strong. Like, I don't care what people think at all about what I'm into. I do not care. I know I have good taste in things. Sorry, I'm laughing at myself too much, but you know, some people it really does. It hurts them deeply. So, you know, like, we really try hard not to be like, I don't like this terrible music you're listening to. This silly whatever it is, you know. But, you know, I think that also we keep in mind that we have to give people grace, because sometimes they just really don't know what the heck they're talking about, right? And they say it to you. You know, when you're 8 years old, you carry that with you as a belief. And then maybe one day, you know, you're 35 years old, you go and say, hey, you know, Grandpa, remember when you told me, you know, whatever, my baseball team sucked, or whatever. They don't remember. They're like, why would I ever say that to you? That's silly, you know? So sometimes we really do need to think about the fact that most people don't know what they're talking about, even the ones that we love. So here we go. Divine doors. I love this. I love this deck so much. I'm so obsessed with doorways, portals, the symbolism of a door, in kind of a metaphysical or, you know, esoteric realm. Okay, and I'm just gonna hurry up and I'm gonna stop right there. Ooh, nice. We have the Buddha. A Buddha. I don't know which one this is. Okay, offerings. Abundance lies in the heart that allows. Share more than expected and see love come around. Yeah, I'm about that life. Totally my whole thing that I tell my daughter constantly. We treat people better than they treat us. We give more than well, not that we should, but, you know, we give more. Even that we have, right? Sometimes we have to be more generous than even feels comfortable. And I'm not talking about money. I just mean, you know, sometimes for me, it's time. Giving people more time than I have time for, you know. Listening to somebody talk about something they've told me already 5 times or whatever, but I will listen. You know, because sometimes people just need somebody to talk to, you know, or whatever. I mean, there's so many examples, but it's important for us to do that. Not all the time, not every moment of the day, of course, but where we can, you know, that's what's going to save the world. Each and every one of us, just a little bit at a time, right? All right, Libra, I thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. If you'd be so kind as to like the video, it helps us get into the algorithm, and the algorithm rules everything. So we like to give it the engagement that it wants, needs, demands. And those are things like liking the video, watching the readings from the beginning to the end, sharing the videos on other social media platforms, And if you have not subscribed, please think about doing that. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next videos are coming out. And if you want to leave a comment, as I talked about before, you can totally do that. Please do. I read all of them. I appreciate all of them. I love you all, and we will talk in a few days. Okay, Libra, bye-bye.